Hello guys, this is Rainbow Star the Reader, and I did this fan art so I can start this new series. I'm gonna go get the book right now that I will be reading. It's on Wattpad. This book is by Oof Med. I like their name. I'm going to go and get that book right now. It's called That One Mute Boy. No, it's called That One Mute Boy, a TomTord Fanfic. You cannot judge me. I like to read. I like picking things that my friends make. So I decided I would start off with this, not any of my other books, but this one. So this is by Oof Med. This one is not by me. If you don't like gay, get off of this channel, please, because there will be a lot of gay stuff on here. Okay? There's your warning. I hope you take that seriously. Chapter 1. Unforgettable Experience. Dreaming my flashbacks. The young Norwegian was sitting in the air-conditioned car, feeling the cool breeze hit him as he watched the beautiful blooming trees pass by the moving vehicle. He smiled softly, amused by the beautiful sight of what spring gave him. I love spring, Tord muttered softly, tapping his index finger and middle fingers on the thin layer of glass, creating a tiny beat with the two. Tord's brother perked up and looked over at the Norski. He smiled softly and nodded in agreement. I know, right? The older Norwegian agreed enthusiastically, in an enthusiastic voice, making Tord return a low chuckle to his enthusiastic brother. Tord loved how his older brother was so enthusiastic. It made him feel like he was the older brother in some way. Tord started to smile at the thought. He began to scratch the top of a stuffed brown bear and he had in one arm. The texture of the bear was very thick, soft and silky, short fur. The mature young boy made this stuffed bear a few days ago and promised to treat it as his own little pet, and it went by the name Tommy Bear. Tommy Bear had a little tag attached to its arms. Its arms that had the writing Tommy Bear on it, so people would know the name of the bear. Tord bit his lip anxiously. Today was the day where he was going on a camping trip with his family. His and his brother's spring break. He was very excited yet nervous at the same time, since it was his first time. He felt his stomach aching. The young boy was now lost in his thoughts. All he thought of was negative things that could happen. All he heard was creepy voices that said, "Mama hates you," and "this camping trip will be a complete waste of time." Although this was normal for Tord, Tord had these voices that said negative things that made him feel worse about himself. Because he kept going on even in the darkest moments. But he didn't know what was going to happen at this very second. Tord's thoughts were suddenly cut off by the sweet and serene voice of his mother's. The sweet and serene voice of his mother's. "Sweetie, we're here!" She gave out a happy giggle as his brother perked up. Oh boy, he said, enthusiastically, smiling. Tord looked at his brother, only to see his smile turn into a frown while looking ahead. Tord looked ahead, only to see that the car was in front of a fathomless cliff. I'm pretty sure that's what they meant. Tord's gut kept telling him to get out of the car, but he didn't listen because of his mother. "You two stay in the car. Your father and I are going to need to leave this car. Trust me. You'll be better off there than here." Tord gulped. He had mixed emotions. A mix of nervousness, confusion, and anxiousness, with a dash of fear in it, as if all of these emotions were an ice cream sundae with a cherry on top. He couldn't just tell her what she was doing, so all he did was nod like a coward he is. Tord's fingers ran down the glass one more time before he started to hold Tommy Bear as tight as he could, nervously biting his lip. On the other hand, his brother was gripping the seat. Looking ahead made him terrified. He was afraid of heights, which was common. Tord's gut kept screaming at him to leave the car, but his brother was too scared. No, I messed up there, sorry. Tord's gut kept screaming at him to leave the car with his brother, but he was too scared. He was scared what his parents would do or say. They were pretty strict Catholics anyway. Like the time where he had to get hit on the back with a belt 20 times for lying about using all the brand of new soap they had just bought. I was only 5. I think they meant to put he. He was only 5. He decided to blame it on his older brother. His parents. I messed up, sorry. He decided to blame it on his older brother when his parents mentioned it. but he was too scared to step in. He decided to blame it on his older brother instead. Tord held Tommy Bear even closer when his dad unbuckled his seatbelt and opened the car door, stepping out. His mother started to do something with the car. Tord didn't know since he was only 7, so of course he didn't know how to work one. Tord's mother quickly unbuckled herself in the same process his father did. The car started to move slowly forwards as the two Norwegian parents stood side by side together on the side of Tord. They had smiles on their faces and waved goodbye along with a goodbye connected. No, along with a bye connected. Tord looked over at his parents, then forward. He only saw the car getting closer and closer to the edge. He tried to remain calm, but his brother did not help at all. All his brother did was scream. He kept screaming out his parents' names as if he were being tortured. But all his parents did was stand there and smile at him. Tord could see his brother trying to hold his tears in. Plus, to Tord, it was only a dream. He believed this was a dream, and it had to be one. His parents would never do this, even though he was wrong. Tord closed his eyes tightly and said his last words that ever slipped out of his mouth. It's just a dream, and it's okay to cry. Before his brother could say anything, the car dropped to its doom. Before Tord accepted his fate, he opened his window and threw Tommy Bear out. And that was it. The end before everything became black. Tord was awoken by his childhood friend slapping him across the face, making Norski yelp and shoot up. He held on to the now red mark that had formed on his left cheek. It was only a dream. Tord sighed. All his dreams were ever about was that unforgettable experience, which his childhood friend's name is, whose name is Thomas Grudgewell, who never knew about It felt like the incident occurred a day ago. Somehow, Tord had survived while his older brother met his fate. The experience made him completely scarred. It made it worse when Tord left the hospital and his parents said he had to not tell anyone or his mouth would be stitched. That made him completely broken and shattered inside. So he decided to become mute, since he feared he were to accidentally let it slip out. Hey, Comey, can you stop dreaming and get the fuck up so we can go to school? I don't have to pick you up from your house, and we don't have to walk together if you keep doing this," Tom yelled furiously, his tone never satisfied like usual, which made the milky brown-haired boy sad. Tord always had problems waking up, ever since what happened, and it made him sad to see his only friend mad with him. Not to mention, he's always mad at him. Other than that, the taller male was usually always bored. Tord sighed sluggishly and got out of bed and motioned for Tom to leave his room so he could change into his everyday wear. Tom looked in his non-existent eye with his non-existent eyes and left the room. This was normal to Tord. He then walked over to his drawer and picked out his everyday wear. He held the pair of clothing in one arm while he slipped off the black shorts, since that's all he had on. Since that was all he had on, minus boxers. He then slipped his black sweatpants on. Next, he slid his plain gray t-shirt on and his red hoodie after it. Lastly, he put on his shoes with the socks on and left his room, heading towards the kitchen where Tom was waiting. Norski grabbed a comb from the table and quickly ran it through his hair before walking out the door with Tom. Tord didn't have any breakfast, really. He never really had the time since he woke up late from Tom barking at him. He didn't even get to say goodbye to the puppets he made in his past. Tord let out a quiet sigh. He wished he could say something to Tom right now, but decided not to say anything. Plus, Tord never spoke in years, so kind of forgot how to speak, and it was truly making him suffer. The two boys quietly walked to school together, Tom with his usual bored expression, and Tord with his usual mute self. Another day at school, another day to hope for the best. And that's the end of the chapter. I hope you guys liked it. This story is by Med. I will put the link in the description. I hope you like that. I did mess up a few times. I apologize. I sometimes mess up because, I'm not used to reading stories aloud. I don't do that much. So, I'm gonna send this to you, Med, so you can see how this turned out and decide your thoughts on this. I hope you like it. I will be linking the story in the description below. This is Rainbow Star the Reader signing out, and I have no outro yet. That's going to be a reoccurring thing. I haven't set up the recording desk yet, so I'm not under the recording desk yet. So, I'm just out in my room because I'm alone in my room. I can do that. But I will have the recording desk set up soon. Or the recording closet. I can use my closet too. But that's it. I hope you liked it. Bye!